CEO single for 30 years but falls in love at first sight with a humble waitress. The neon lights of Manhattan flickered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Blue Note, a trendy bar nestled in the heart of the city's bustling nightlife. It was a Friday evening, and the place was alive with the hum of laughter, clinking glasses, and the low thrum of jazz spilling from the speakers. Anna Carter, a 25-year-old waitress with a quick smile and sharp eyes, weaved through the crowd, balancing a tray of craft cocktails and artisanal beers. Her dark hair was pulled into a messy bun, strands slipping loose as she darted between tables, her black apron streaked with a faint smudge of bourbon from an earlier spill. Anna had been working at the Blue Note for nearly a year, a job she took to pay the bills while she figured out her next move. She'd graduated from NYU with a degree in finance, but a mistake during her senior year, helping a friend cheat on an exam, had cost her a clean record and left her diploma in limbo. The sting of that choice lingered, but Anna wasn't one to dwell. She was a doer, someone who kept moving forward, even when the path felt like a treadmill going nowhere. Tonight, the bar was packed for a birthday party. A lively affair thrown for Emily, a regular who always tipped generously and had a knack for drawing a crowd. Anna scanned the room, noting the mix of young professionals in tailored blazers and college friends in jeans, all mingling under the amber glow of Edison bulbs. She dropped off a tray of mojitos at a table of giggling 20-somethings, flashing a grin as one of them complimented her earrings, simple silver hoops she'd bought at a thrift store. "Thanks, they're vintage," she said, her voice warm but clipped as she moved on to the next order. Efficiency was her armor, a way to keep the chaos of the night at bay. As she headed back to the bar, she caught sight of David, her boyfriend of 2 years, leaning against a high-top table near the stage. His sandy blonde hair fell slightly over his forehead, and his easy smile made her heart skip. David was a graphic designer freelancing for startups while dreaming of launching his own studio. They'd met at a campus coffee shop during her junior year, bonding over late-night study sessions and a shared love of cheesy sci-fi movies. He waved her over, and she stole a moment to plant a quick kiss on his cheek. "You surviving out there?" he teased, his blue eyes crinkling. "Barely," she shot back, "but I'm tougher than I look." The night took a turn when a new face appeared at Table 9, a corner booth reserved for VIPs. James Harper, a 35-year-old CEO of Apex Ventures, a top-tier venture capital firm in New York, sat alone, his tailored navy suit, a stark contrast to the casual vibe of the bar. His dark hair was neatly combed, and his sharp jawline caught the light as he scrolled through his phone, a glass of untouched whiskey in front of him. James was a regular at the Blue Note, though he rarely stayed long. He'd built a reputation as a workaholic, a man who'd been single for years, pouring his energy into turning Apex into a powerhouse. Rumors swirled about him. Some said he was ruthless, others that he was just painfully shy, but Anna had never paid much attention. To her, he was just another customer, albeit one who tipped well and never caused a scene. Tonight, though, something was different. James looked up as Anna approached, his hazel eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that made her pause. "Black Label, right?" she asked, gesturing to his drink. "Anything else I can get you?" He nodded, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "Just the bottle for now. And maybe a snack platter, something small." His voice was low, calm, but carried a weight that made her feel seen not just as a waitress, but as a person. Anna jotted down the order and headed back to the bar, her mind racing. There was something about James that unsettled her, not in a bad way, but like a puzzle she couldn't quite solve. She relayed the order to the bartender Mike, who raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Big Shot's going all out tonight, huh? Bottle of Black Label's not cheap." Anna shrugged, brushing off the comment. His money, his choice. As she returned with the bottle and a small platter of cheeses and charcuterie, James caught her eye again. Busy night, he asked, his tone casual but curious. Always, she replied, setting down the tray. You here for Emily's party? He shook his head. Just needed a break from the office, but it looks like a good crowd. Anna nodded, unsure why he was making small talk. Yeah, Emily's got a knack for throwing a bash. Let me know if you need anything else. She turned to leave, but his voice stopped her. Anna, right? She froze, surprised he knew her name. Yeah, that's me. How'd you… He gestured to her name tag with a slight grin. I pay attention. You seem like you handle this place like a pro. Flattered but wary, Anna gave a polite nod and moved on to the next table. The night was in full swing now, with Emily's friends singing off-key to a jazz cover of a pop song, and David chatting animatedly with a group near the stage. Anna's co-worker Lily sidled up to her, nudging her arm. Okay, Spill. What's with Mr. Suit at table 9? He's totally checking you out. Anna rolled her eyes. He's just a customer, Lily. Don't start. But Lily wasn't having it. Come on, he's like the James Harper, CEO, loaded and single forever. Bet you could get him to take you out. Anna laughed, shaking her head. Not my type. Besides, I've got David. Lily smirked. David's cute, but that guy's a whole different league. Bet I could get him to ask me to dinner first. Anna raised an eyebrow, sensing a challenge. Oh, really? Want to make it interesting? Lily grinned. Loser buys drinks next shift. Anna stuck out her hand. Deal. The bet was a playful distraction, but it added a spark to the night. Anna kept an eye on table 9 as she worked, noticing James watching the crowd with a quiet intensity. He wasn't aloof exactly, just separate, like he was observing a world he didn't quite belong to. When Lily strutted over to his table, all confidence and charm, Anna watched from afar, half amused, half curious. Lily leaned in, flashing her brightest smile, but James's response was polite, brief. Within minutes, Lily was back pouting. He's impossible, she muttered. Said he's not in the mood for dinner plans. Your turn, Carter. Anna hesitated. She wasn't one to flirt for sport, especially with David nearby, but the challenge was too tempting. Besides, it was just a game, right? She approached James's table tray in hand and decided to keep it light. So my friend thinks she's got you figured out, Anna said, setting down a fresh napkin. Says you're too serious for a place like this. I'm thinking she's wrong. James raised an eyebrow, leaning back in his chair. Is that so? And what's your take? Anna smirked, leaning slightly against the table. I think you're here because you like the chaos, even if you don't admit it. Bet you'd enjoy a real New York dinner, maybe some dim sum in Chinatown, or a burger at that hole in the wall on 7th. His laugh was soft, but genuine, catching her off guard. You're bold, I'll give you that. All right, Anna, I'll bite. If I say yes to dinner, what's in it for you? She blinked, not expecting him to play along. Bragging rights, she said quickly. And maybe a free drink from my coworker. He chuckled, shaking his head. Fair enough. Tell you what, dinner's on me if you can convince me you're not just playing a game. Anna felt a flush creep up her neck, unsure if he was serious. I'll think about it, she said, retreating to the bar with her heart pounding. The rest of the night passed in a blur. Emily's party grew louder with guests spilling onto the small dance floor, and David pulled Anna aside during a rare lull. You okay? He asked, his hand resting lightly on her arm. You seem distracted. She smiled, brushing off the unease. Just surviving the madness. You having fun? He nodded, but his eyes flicked toward table 9. That guy over there. He's some big shot, CEO, right? Keeps looking at you. Anna laughed, nudging him playfully. Jealous much? It's just work, David. You know me. He relaxed, pulling her into a quick hug. Yeah, I know. Just don't let some suit steal you away. She kissed his cheek, reassuring him, but her mind wandered back to James. There was something about him, his quiet confidence, his unexpected warmth, that stuck with her. As the night wound down, Anna brought James his check. $608, she said, sliding the bill across the table. Quite a tab. He handed her a stack of cash, his fingers brushing hers for a split second. Keep the change, he said, his voice steady. She glanced at the bills, far more than the total, and hesitated. This is too much. He shrugged. Consider it a thank you for making my night interesting. Before she could respond, he stood slipping on his coat. By the way, he added, I meant what I said about dinner, but I'm not here to play games. If you're ever looking for a real opportunity, not just a bet, come find me at Apex Ventures. I think you'd surprise a lot of people. He handed her a business card, his name embossed in sleek black letters, and walked out into the night. Anna stood frozen, the card heavy in her hand. Lily swooped in, eyes wide. Did you win? Tell me you got him. Anna shook her head, slipping the card into her pocket. Not exactly, but I think I just got something better. As the bar emptied and David waited by the door, Anna felt a shift inside her. James's offer wasn't just about a job, it was a chance to rewrite her story, to prove she was more than her past mistakes. But with that chance came a new kind of pressure, one that would test her courage, her love for David, and her belief in herself. As she locked up for the night, the city's pulse thrumming outside Anna knew one thing for sure. Her life was about to get a lot more complicated. The hum of fluorescent lights filled the 27th floor of Apex Ventures' sleek Manhattan office, a glass and steel fortress overlooking the Hudson River. Anna Carter sat at her new desk, a modest cubicle tucked among a sea of analysts, her fingers hovering over a keyboard as she stared at a spreadsheet filled with numbers that refused to make sense. It was her second week as a junior analyst, a role she'd landed after a grueling interview process sparked by James Harper's unexpected offer at the Blue Note. The memory of that night, his business card, his quiet confidence still lingered, but the reality of corporate life was proving to be a different beast. Anna adjusted her blazer, a thrift store find she'd paired with a crisp white shirt, and tried to focus. Her desk was bare except for a coffee mug and a framed photo of her and David taken last summer at Coney Island, both of them grinning with ice cream smudged on their faces. That photo was her anchor, a reminder of why she was here to build a future not just for herself, but for them. The office buzzed with activity analysts typing furiously, phones ringing, and senior staff striding through glass-walled conference rooms. Anna's direct supervisor, Sarah Mitchell, was a formidable presence, a senior vice president in her late 30s, with a razor-sharp mind and a reputation for zero tolerance for mediocrity. Sarah's heels clicked as she approached Anna's desk, her tailored skirt suit impeccable, a stark contrast to Anna's budget-friendly outfit. Carter? Sarah said, her voice clipped. I need a preliminary report on the Greenwave startup by end of day. Market analysis, competitor, breakdown, and a valuation estimate. Can you handle it? Anna nodded, her stomach twisting. Yes, Ms. Mitchell, I'll get it done. Sarah's eyes narrowed slightly. Call me Sarah, and don't oversell yourself. If you can't deliver, say so now. Anna swallowed, forcing a smile. I've got it. Sarah gave a curt nod and walked away, leaving Anna to wonder if she'd just made a promise she couldn't keep. The Greenwave report was her first big assignment, a chance to prove she belonged at Apex. But as she dove into the data, revenue projections, market trends, and regulatory hurdles, her confidence wavered. Finance had been her passion at NYU, But the real world was messier than textbooks, with stakes that felt impossibly high. She glanced at her co-worker Ethan, a lanky analyst with a knack for sarcasm. "Any tips for surviving Sarah's wrath?" she whispered. Ethan smirked, not looking up from his screen. "Don't screw up. And if you do, don't let her see you sweat." Anna sighed, turning back to her spreadsheet. By noon, her head was spinning, and the numbers still weren't adding up. She grabbed her phone, texting David for a quick morale boost. "This job is kicking my butt. Miss you." His reply came fast. "You're a rock star, babe. Kick its butt back. Dinner tonight." She smiled, typing, "Deal." 7 at Luigi's. His thumbs-up emoji made her feel a little less alone. The day took a turn when Sarah called Anna into a meeting with a potential client, a tech startup seeking funding. Anna's role was to observe, but the pressure of being in the room surrounded by executives in $1,000 suits made her palms sweat. James Harper was there, seated at the head of the table, his presence commanding, yet understated. He caught her eye briefly, offering a small nod that felt like a lifeline. The client, a brash entrepreneur named Mark, pitched a blockchain platform throwing around buzzwords like disruption and scalability. Sarah fired off pointed questions exposing gaps in his plan, while James listened, his expression unreadable. Anna scribbled notes, trying to keep up, but her mind wandered to the Green Wave report waiting on her desk. When the meeting ended, Sarah pulled her aside. "I expect your report to be as thorough as my questions in there," she said. "Don't disappoint me." Anna nodded, her throat tight. "I won't." Back at her desk, Anna worked through lunch, skipping her usual deli sandwich to wrestle with Greenwave's data. By 4 p.m., she realized she'd underestimated the scope of the report. The competitor analysis alone required digging through obscure industry reports, and the valuation estimate felt like a shot in the dark. Panic crept in, but she pushed it down, reminding herself why she was here. She wasn't just Anna the waitress anymore. She was Anna Carter, analyst, with a chance to rewrite her story. But as the clock ticked toward 5, her draft was a mess, riddled with gaps and half-baked conclusions. Ethan peeked over her cubicle. "Still grinding Sarah's gonna eat you alive if that's not airtight?" Anna groaned. "Thanks for the pep talk." He shrugged. "Just being real. Want me to take a look?" She hesitated, then slid her laptop over. Ethan scanned it, wincing. "You're missing half the market context. And your valuation's way off. You need more time." Anna's heart sank. "I don't have more time." Desperate, Anna stayed late, the office emptying out as dusk settled over the city. By 6:30, she'd patched together a report that felt passable, but far from perfect. She emailed it to Sarah, her finger hovering over the send button before hitting it with a mix of dread and relief. As she packed up her phone, buzzed a voicemail from James. "Anna, it's James Harper. I noticed you stayed late. If you're still around, swing by my office. No pressure." Her pulse quickened. Was this about the report? Or something else? She hesitated, then headed to the corner office, its glass walls offering a panoramic view of the skyline. James was there, his tie loosened, a stack of papers on his desk. "Long day?" he asked, gesturing to a chair. She nodded, sitting stiffly. "Yeah, just trying to keep up." He leaned back, studying her. "You're doing more than that. I saw you in the meeting today, taking notes, staying engaged. That's not nothing." Anna shifted, unsure how to respond. "Thanks, but I'm still figuring things out. That report I sent Sarah, it's not my best work." James's expression softened. "First rule of this game, nobody's perfect on day one. Sarah's tough, but she's fair. Keep showing up, and you'll get there." His words eased the knot in her chest, but then he added, "I meant what I said at the bar. You've got potential, Anna. Don't let a rough day make you doubt that." She met his gaze, struck by his sincerity. "Why do you care?" She asked the question, slipping out before she could stop it. He paused, then smiled faintly. "Let's just say I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong. Keep proving them wrong." He stood, signaling the conversation was over. "Get some rest. You've earned it." Anna left his office, her mind a whirlwind. James's encouragement was a boost, but it also stirred unease. Was he just being kind, or was there something more? She pushed the thought aside, heading to Luigi's, a cozy Italian spot where David was waiting with a pizza and a grin. "You look like you just ran a marathon," he teased, sliding a slice onto her plate. She laughed, the tension of the day melting away. "Feels like it. Work's intense." David listened as she vented about the report, Sarah's expectations, and the pressure to prove herself. But when she mentioned James's late-night chat, his smile faltered. "This CEO guy's taking a lot of interest in you," he said, his tone half joking, half wary. Anna reached for his hand. "It's just work, David. He's my boss. You're the one I'm here with." He relaxed, but the seed of doubt was planted. As they walked home through the chilly New York night, Anna's phone pinged an email from Sarah. Her heart stopped as she read it. "Carter, your report is incomplete. Market analysis lacks depth, and the valuation is shaky. We'll discuss tomorrow. Be prepared." Anna's stomach dropped. She'd failed her first big test, and Sarah's disappointment stung more than she expected. David wrapped an arm around her. "You'll nail it next time," he said, but his voice carried a trace of worry. Anna nodded, leaning into him, but her mind was already racing. She had to do better, not just for Sarah, but for herself. And with James's words echoing in her head, she felt the weight of a new challenge, proving she could rise above her mistakes, even as the stakes kept climbing. The autumn air carried a crisp bite as Anna Carter stepped out of Apex Ventures' gleaming office tower, her scarf pulled tight against the Manhattan wind. It was a Thursday evening, 3 weeks into her job as a junior analyst, and the city's pulse thrummed around her honking taxis, glowing skyscrapers, and street vendors hawking pretzels. Anna's mind, though, was elsewhere, tangled in the aftermath of her botched Green Wave report and the growing tension in her personal life. Sarah Mitchell's sharp critique still stung, but Anna had spent every spare moment since then diving into industry journals, refining her skills, determined to prove she wasn't a fluke hire. Her phone buzzed as she descended into the subway, a text from David lighting up the screen. "Miss you. Dinner at my place, got tacos." She smiled, typing back, "Be there in 30. Save me a taco." David's support was her anchor, but lately a shadow had crept into their relationship, one that bore the name Margaret Ellison, David's mother. Margaret, a wealthy real estate magnate with a penthouse on the Upper East Side, had never warmed to Anna. Their first meeting months ago at a family brunch had been a study in polite frostiness. Margaret's tight smile and pointed questions about Anna's career plans made it clear she saw Anna as a mismatch for her son. David brushed it off, insisting his mom would come around, but Anna wasn't so sure. As she boarded the subway, her thoughts were interrupted by a voicemail from an unknown number. "Anna, this is Margaret Ellison," the voice said, cool and measured. "I'd like to meet you tomorrow alone. There's a cafe on 5th Avenue, Le Jardin, 1 p.m. Don't tell David." Anna's stomach twisted. She deleted the message, her pulse quickening. What could Margaret want that required secrecy? She pushed the thought down, focusing on the evening ahead with David, but unease lingered like a stubborn fog. At David's cramped but cozy Brooklyn apartment, The smell of sizzling beef and cilantro greeted her. He pulled her into a hug, his flannel shirt soft against her cheek. "Rough day?" he asked, handing her a plate piled with tacos. She nodded, sinking onto the couch. "Work's brutal, but I'm hanging in there. Sarah's got me on a new project, some fintech startup. I'm trying not to screw it up." David grinned, his blue eyes warm. "You won't. You're smarter than half those suits." She laughed, but her smile faded as she thought of Margaret's voicemail. Should she tell him? Before she could decide, David's phone rang his mom. He stepped into the kitchen to take the call. His voice low. Anna caught fragments. "Yeah, Mom, she's doing great. No, I don't think that's fair." When he returned, he looked tense, but waved it off. Just Mom being Mom. "Let's eat." Anna nodded, but the taco tasted like cardboard. She couldn't shake the feeling that Margaret was plotting something. The next day, Anna arrived at Le Jardin, a chic cafe with white linen tablecloths and overpriced lattes. Margaret was already there, her silver hair swept into an elegant updo, her designer coat draped over a chair. She gestured for Anna to sit, her smile as warm as a winter breeze. "Thank you for coming," Margaret began, her voice smooth but laced with steel. "I'll be direct. You and David are not a good match. You're a bright girl, Anna, but you come from different worlds. I'm offering you a way out." Anna's jaw tightened, but she stayed silent as Margaret slid an envelope across the table. "Inside is a check for $50,000, enough to cover your mother's medical debts and start fresh abroad, perhaps. London, Paris, wherever you choose. All I ask is that you leave David and New York." Anna's breath caught her fingers hovering over the envelope before pushing it back. "I don't want your money," she said, her voice steady despite the anger bubbling inside. "I love David, and I'm not for sale." Margaret's eyes narrowed, but her composure didn't waver. "Think carefully, Anna. You're a waitress with a tainted academic record. David's destined for bigger things, our family's business, a legacy. If you stay, you'll drag him down. And if you think your new job at Apex will change that, you're naive. One phone call from me, and your career there is over." Anna's heart pounded, but she leaned forward, meeting Margaret's gaze. "You don't scare me, Mrs. Ellison. I've paid off my mom's debts myself, and I'm building my life here with David. If you try to sabotage me, you'll hurt him too. Is that what you want?" Margaret's lips pursed, but before she could respond, Anna stood, leaving the envelope on the table. "Enjoy your coffee," she said, walking out into the bustling street, her chest tight, but her resolve firm. Back at Apex, Anna threw herself into the fintech project, determined to channel her anger into her work. The startup PaySphere was a mobile payment platform, and Anna's task was to analyze its market potential. She spent hours cross-referencing competitors, digging into consumer trends, and triple-checking her calculations. By Wednesday, her report was shaping up detailed data, driven the kind of work that might impress even Sarah. But as she was finalizing her slides, Ethan leaned over her cubicle, his voice low. "Heads up, Carter. Someone sent an anonymous email to HR claiming you fudged financial records at your old job. Total BS, but it's got Sarah's attention." Anna's blood ran cold. "What, I've never even had a finance job before this." Ethan shrugged. "Figured it was nonsense, but you should know. Watch your back." Anna's mind raced to Margaret. Had she followed through on her threat? She marched to Sarah's office, her report in hand, determined to clear her name. Sarah was on a call but waved her in. "Carter, what's this? I hear about an email," she asked, hanging up. Anna took a deep breath. "I don't know who sent it, but it's not true. I've never worked in finance before Apex, And I've been upfront about my past. Everything, including the mistake at NYU. Check my records, ask my references. I'm here to do the job right. Sarah studied her expression unreadable. I don't trust anonymous emails, she said finally. But I expect your work to speak for itself. That PACE-Fear report better be flawless. Anna nodded, handing over her draft. It's not finished, but I'd like your feedback. Sarah skimmed the first page, her eyebrows lifting slightly. Not bad. Fix the growth projections. They're too optimistic. We'll talk tomorrow. As Anna left Sarah's office, she ran into James in the hallway, his suit jacket slung over his shoulder. Heard you had a rough day, he said, his tone light, but his eyes searching. Anna sighed. You could say that. Someone's trying to tank my job, and I'm pretty sure I know who. James frowned. The email, it's being handled. We don't play dirty here, data over drama. Whoever sent it doesn't know Apex. Anna nodded, grateful, but wary. Thanks, Mr. Harper. I just want to prove I belong here. He smiled, a rare warmth breaking through. You're doing that already. Keep it up. His words steadied her, but they also stirred a flicker of doubt. Was James's support purely professional, or was there something more? That night, Anna met David at a dive bar near his apartment, the kind of place with sticky floors and cheap beer. She told him about Margaret's offer, watching his face darken. She did what he said, slamming his glass down. I can't believe she'd go that far. Anna touched his arm. I handled it, David, but I think she's behind that email too. He ran a hand through his hair, his jaw tight. I told her you got the Apex job because I was proud of you. I thought it'd make her see you differently. I'm so sorry. Anna shook her head. It's not your fault, but we need to be a team on this. Okay, no secrets. He nodded, pulling her close. No secrets. I love you, Anna. We'll figure this out. As they left the bar, hand in hand, Anna felt a surge of determination. Margaret could throw obstacles her way, but she wouldn't break them apart or stop Anna from proving her worth at Apex. The Manhattan skyline glittered through the conference room windows of Apex Ventures, a dazzling backdrop to the most critical moment of Anna Carter's young career. It was a brisk Monday morning, and the office buzzed with anticipation for a high-stakes presentation to secure a partnership with PACE-Fear, the fintech startup Anna had been analyzing for weeks. She stood at the front of the room, her navy blazer pressed her notes meticulously, prepared, her heart pounding like a drum. Sarah Mitchell sat at the head of the table, her sharp eyes scanning Anna's slides, while James Harper leaned back in his chair, his expression calm but attentive. The PACE-Fear team, led by a confident CEO named Rachel Lynn, filled the other seats, their gazes fixed on Anna. This was her chance to redeem herself after the Green Wave fiasco, to prove she wasn't just a former waitress with a questionable past, but a capable analyst who belonged at Apex. She took a deep breath, clicked to her first slide, and began. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll walk you through why PACE-Fear is poised to dominate the mobile payment market, backed by data on consumer trends, competitive positioning, and a conservative yet promising valuation. Anna's voice was steady, her slides crisp with charts and projections she'd triple-checked until 2 a.m. She outlined PACE-Fear's strengths, its user-friendly interface, robust security protocols, and untapped potential in underserved markets, while addressing risks like regulatory hurdles and competitor saturation. She'd learned from her mistakes, weaving in the depth Sarah had demanded, and grounding her optimism in hard data. As Anna fielded questions, Rachel Lynn nodded approvingly, and even Sarah's stern expression softened. James caught her eye once, offering a subtle thumbs up that sent a jolt of confidence through her. When she concluded, the room erupted in applause. Rachel stood extending her hand. Impressive work, Anna. We're excited to move forward with Apex. Sarah added, solid presentation, Carter. You've earned your place on this project. Anna's chest swelled with pride, but she kept her composure, thanking them with a professional smile. She'd done it. She'd proven her worth. After the meeting, Anna lingered in the conference room, gathering her notes as the team dispersed. James approached his tie, loosened a rare grin on his face. You nailed it, he said. I knew you had it in you. Anna flushed, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Thanks, Mr. Harper. I couldn't have done it without your faith in me. He waved off the compliment. It's not about me. You showed up, did the work, and didn't let the noise, anonymous emails, or otherwise stop you. That's what matters. Anna nodded her thoughts, drifting to Margaret Ellison's threats. She hadn't told James about the cafe meeting, but his words felt like a shield against Margaret's schemes. By the way, James added, I'm assigning you as the lead analyst for PaySphere. Don't let Sarah scare you. She respects results. Anna's eyes widened. Lead analyst. Are you sure? He chuckled. Don't make me regret it. Now go celebrate, you've earned it. That evening, Anna met David at a small park near his Brooklyn apartment, the air crisp with the scent of fallen leaves. They sat on a bench, sharing a thermos of hot cider, the city's hum a distant soundtrack. Anna recounted the presentation, her voice bubbling with excitement. David listened, his arm around her, pride shining in his blue eyes. You're unstoppable, Anna Carter, he said, kissing her forehead. But his smile faded as he broached the subject they'd been avoiding. I talked to my mom yesterday. She admitted to the cafe meeting and the email. I told her she crossed a line. Anna's heart sank. What did she say? David sighed, running a hand through his hair. She's stubborn, but I made it clear you're my choice and I'm not giving you up. She needs to accept that. Anna squeezed his hand, her resolve strengthening. We'll face her together. Okay, no more secrets. He nodded, pulling her close. Together. The next day, Anna received an unexpected text from Margaret. Meet me at Le Jardin 2 p.m. We need to talk. Anna's first instinct was to ignore it, but she knew running wasn't her style. She arrived at the cafe, her chin high, ready for a fight. Margaret sat at the same table as before, her posture rigid, but her eyes softer than Anna expected. I underestimated you, Margaret began, her voice lacking its usual edge. David told me about your presentation, how you impressed everyone at Apex. I was wrong to think you'd hold him back. Anna stayed silent, waiting. Margaret continued, I still believe you two face challenges, different worlds, different pressures. But David's made his choice, and I won't stand in his way. I'm not apologizing for protecting my son, but I'll respect your relationship. Anna exhaled, the weight of weeks lifting slightly. Thank you, Mrs. Ellison. But this isn't just about David. I'm building my own life, and I won't let anyone, family or not, define my worth. Margaret nodded, a flicker of respect in her gaze. Fair enough. Good luck, Anna. As Anna walked back to Apex, the city buzzing around her, she felt a clarity she hadn't known before. Her phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. PaySphere deal is signed. Good work, Carter. Keep it up. Anna smiled, pocketing her phone. She'd faced Margaret's threats, Sarah's scrutiny, and her own doubts, and come out stronger. Later, over dinner with David at their favorite taco joint, Anna reflected on her journey. I used to think I had to prove myself to everyone. Sarah, your mom, even myself, she said, her voice steady. But I'm starting to see it's not about proving anything. It's about being honest, showing up, and not letting fear stop you. David grinned, raising his glass. To you, Anna, the toughest person I know. The lesson was clear. Life's obstacles, from anonymous emails to family pressures, couldn't define her unless she let them. By staying true to herself, owning her past mistakes, working hard, and holding fast to her love for David, Anna had carved out a place at apex and in her own story. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she was ready. Honesty and grit had carried her this far, and they'd carry her further still, a truth she hoped would resonate with anyone chasing their own dreams in the face of doubt.